So this morning we went for a walk with my wife. We walked past a gun store and she said, "Fernando, we don't have enough ammunition. You have to buy more. Your supplies are running low." I told her, we're fine. We don't really need that much and we have plenty. But she insisted. She says, "No, go in there, buy some more. We don't have enough." And yes, events may not have been exactly like that, but that's my version and I'm sticking to it. Folks, Fernando doing our video for more survivalists. Either way, I ended up with a couple more boxes of 12 gauge ammunition, and I thought about doing a video regarding some of the different options that you of course have and some things to keep in mind. So obviously the cheapest thing to have is Birdshot, which is basically your slug, like your shell like this, 1270. And this is the kind of stuff that works well in my guns. I have semi-automatic ones, and anything that's over 30 grams of weight works well for me. And this is gonna be 30, let me see if I turn this on. So these are 36 grams of weight, and this works okay. Anything that's above 30 in my automatic shotguns works well, and of course in pump actions anything goes. I don't have a problem with that, but I try to have ammunition that works well on both. This is the cheapest stuff. This is the stuff for, of course, bird hunting, anything that's pest control. It can be used for self-defense. There's a huge debate about birdshot being only for little birds. Let me tell you one thing. Every single day across the world, someone is using this for home defense, and there's people getting killed with this all the time. And having said that, there's a video that I saw not that long ago about an active shooter in a college. He goes in there with a shotgun, and he shoots a pretty big girl, and a girl that's a bit overweight, quite a bit fat, and he shoots her like 3 feet away, and it does nothing. She just takes that and just gets spooked and runs away. But man, it was so clearly that it just didn't penetrate to stop her, or stop her right there. Definitely failed completely at that. So if you have a bigger attacker, if you have someone that has maybe overweight, this is likely to not penetrate deep enough so as to stop someone. So there is something to be said about going straight with buckshot, which is of course the more natural thing. Now, buckshot, as you guys know, would be those bigger pellets. These are 8.4 millimeters, give or take. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that, and yes, of course, you can have slugs as well. Slugs will be a thing that has the most penetration, and there's something to be said about loading your shotgun with slugs. These will penetrate as much as you need and then some. These are very accurate as well. I'm not going to be saying that turns your shotgun into a rifle, but man, it does get close enough for short and medium range even. These are quite accurate, many times more accurate than most people think. But having said that, in the world of stopping power, sometimes we lose track of what's important. The advantage of buckshot, and the reason why military police uses buckshot and not slugs, because when it's all said and done, multiple hits matter, because that means there's a greater chance of hitting something that is essential, hitting something that will achieve that stop that you're looking for. So if you shoot someone that's attacking you and you don't hit anything that's going to be stopping that person, no matter what you hit, if it's going to be with a slug, you just have one point of impact. When you have buckshot, you have multiple impacts penetrating deep enough. So basically that is why you're going to be going with these 9 pellets. Now, most people know this, but there's a bunch of people that don't know. 12 gauge shotgun, 12 gauge is of course the most popular one, but you have 12 gauge that comes in different lengths. These are 12, as it says there, 1270. You have 1265 and you have 1276, 3 inches. And that's going to be depending on your gun. For example, this Mossberg 500 that I have right here, if you check that out, let me see if I can get this to focus there for you guys. Yeah, I guess you can actually read that there, or not. Focus. And there it says 2 3/4 inch and 3-inch shells. So this means that this shotgun, this Mossberg 500, can fire both 2 3/4 or 3-inch Magnum shells. And to be completely honest, most of the time, 2 3/4 or 12-70 is what most people use. There's a very strong argument for 3-inch Magnum loads being a little bit excessive. This, for example, is the 3-inch Magnum that I bought today, and this is made in Czech Republic. They have a very twisted sense of humor because they have like a little cat here and a little rabbit. Who's on his right mind is going to be shooting any of these two critters with this shell? I don't know. This loads 15 pellets. You know, like this load is 15 pellets of double-aught buck. It is pushing them at the same velocity, so it has a lot more powder in there. Now this is also going to be translating into more recoil, maybe a little bit too much. I'm not particularly sensitive to recoil, but I will admit that these are very stout loads, and for a lot of people it just doesn't make any sense. Now I'm not saying go for these reduced recoil, because that's basically reduced power. Don't go with that. Go with, you know, your stock buckshot. But these, if you can take that kind of recoil, if you can deal with it, you're going to be having a lot more pellets downrange. 15, it's definitely more than 9, and this is going to be multiplying the amount of targets that are going to be getting hit, of areas where these are going to be penetrating, increasing quite a bit the chances of stopping your attacker. Now, your basic buckshot, double-aught buckshot shell, 12, 70, 2 3/4 inch, these have up to 90% stopping power in terms of one-shot stops, 90%, and they see that as being quite reasonable, given that you're putting 9 pellets in that same target. 8, 9 pellets would be the typical. That is obviously going to be effective. But besides that, maybe you don't want to go with this because this is going to be more than enough, and this is more commonly available, and it tends to be cheaper, and it's going to be less recoil. But one of the things I was thinking about right now is, see how the situation is as you have it right now, where there's a lack of availability of 22, 9mm, some of the more common shells and rounds, because of the situation involved in civil unrest and all this stuff. Now, if you have a shotgun that can take 3 inches, even if you use the more typical 2 3/4 shells, if you have the possibility of doing that, if you come across a box like I did of these two, then you can just purchase these and you have something to feed your gun. Maybe not the thing you buy most, but I think that having more options is always better. And of course, you can use anything that's shorter as well without any problem. But you have the option of going with something bigger. Maybe not because of the power, maybe you're not looking specifically for that, but you have the option to use that if there's nothing else available. If you have your, I mean, man, most guns these days are 3-inch chamber, or chamber for 3 inches. But if you have some of the older guns, if you have maybe an older double barrel shotgun, there's a chance that maybe 1265, 1270, that could be a possibility. So just one more thing to keep in mind. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Keep in mind that if you're interested in my take on survival and preparedness, you have my book, Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse. Both of these available in Amazon, following the link below. See you in our next video, folks. Have a great day.